From the Fox 10 Gulf Stream, this is Next Weather.
All right, here on Next Weather, we are tracking weather patterns that are conducive for boating. Yeah, you want to get out on the water. That may be something that interests you. We've had a lot of issues, though, here lately with boaters in distress. And for more on boating safety, here's meteorologist Michael White.
Hey Jason, and happy Tuesday night to all of you. After dealing with some wicked heat for this time of the year, we're looking to, as Jason has mentioned, see the heat levels coming down. But we are past Memorial Day. You know that means we're now unofficially in the summer season, and there's going to be something a lot of you are going to be doing over the summer season, and that has to do with boating. I know a lot of you are going to be already out on the water. You've probably already been out there this past weekend, or you're considering going out on the water very soon. So that is a place that we're going to see a lot of people headed to their boats or to their friends' boats. They're going to be going out over the bay. They're going to be going out into the Gulf waters. They're going to be headed out to Robinson's Island and Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, Pensacola Beach. Everyone's going to want to get on their boats. And hey, why not? It's summertime, right? That's when you want to be boating and having all these fun activities. But there's some things you need to remember when it comes to boating. You need to make sure you remember a checklist that you're going to need if you're going to be doing any sort of boating activities. And here's a glimpse at what some of those are. Now, equipment and safety. A lot of this stuff is absolutely mandated if you own a boat. You got to have a personal flotation device. You have to have one for all of your passengers. Everyone's got to have a life jacket, fire extinguishers, visual distress signals, sound producing devices, flame arresters, sanitation devices, a navigation device, and a VHF radio. Don't forget that documentation is also required. You got to have the vessel registration, just like you have your car registration, insurance, driver's license, boater's license, and if you're in the Coast Guard certificate. Medical supplies are also necessary in boats. Waterproof bandages, gauze, antiseptics, tweezers, ibuprofen, Benadryl, motion sickness meds, hand sanitizer, and of course, you got to have towels, sunscreen. Sunscreen is an absolute necessity because of how many people get sunburned out on the water. Aloe, bug repellent, cameras. You've got to have food and water. What if you run out of gas, right? You're going to need to make sure you stay hydrated. Flashlights, your wallet, books, magazines, a phone charger. Those are all things that you got to remember to have if you're going to be going out on the water. I got this from Ski Safe Insurance Company, and that's just a nice checklist to remember of the things you're going to need if you're going to be headed out on the water, which a lot of you, I'm sure, are going to be doing over the next several weeks and months. I'm going to be on Good Day Gulf Coast tomorrow. Thankfully, we're going to start to see the heat and humidity levels decreasing, which we've been needing to see. Rain and storm chances will start coming back, as Jason's going to be talking about a little bit later. And we're going to be talking about our hurricane special. You're going to start to see some segments here on Next Weather. I'll be working on telling you all about roofs that are fortified for your homes and hurricane-proof windows and protections for your windows. It's going to be a really great hurricane special, which is going to air next week. And you'll see some of those segments right here on Next Weather. Well, I'll be back on Good Day Gulf Coast tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night. Hopefully you were able to beat the heat, and remember to stay hydrated as well. And also check that checklist for all those boat safety tips. And you can always watch this back on Next Weather on our Fox 10 News Gulf Stream. Jason?
All right, let's talk a little bit about storm surge, because this is something that can be really misunderstood. There are a lot of misunderstandings about what storm surge is, and we're now in our tropical season. It starts June 1st. We're already starting to get some advisories and some things issued from the National Hurricane Center as far as the daily tropical weather outlook. And what storm surge is it's wind that drives the water up above what we consider to be normal sea level. So, you know, where the Gulf is normally, the storm surge is what's on top of that. And it doesn't just affect homes that are along the immediate beaches. What we see when we have a storm surge that's 3 feet or 6 feet or 12 feet, it's not how far up the beach that the tide goes. It's actually how high in elevation that the tide rises. So this will impact perhaps even the second floor of a low-lying home along the coast, and it might include areas that are miles inland. So you have to know your elevation. A lot of times when you have a coastal property that's in a flood zone, you have to have a flood elevation certificate to get flood insurance or even to get a conventional mortgage on a home. And so with this knowledge in mind, you can check your elevation. You'll know how high you are above the ground, and then when we give you the prediction on the type of storm surge we might see, like a major hurricane over 12 feet, or in the case of Katrina, 27 feet, we can give you an idea of whether you need to evacuate or not. So that will be another thing that we'll discuss in our upcoming Hurricane Special, which will be airing June 7th. Thanks for joining us here on Next Weather. Here's your 7-day forecast in the meantime.